just reaching out for more. Sure that I'm not sure, know when I don't know it, so I listen for my inner voice. Carry the winds, drown out the rain, but will it make sense without the pain? Will color me blue, then tickle me pink. Who knew that at the brink of the end, life could begin? Treasure buried deeper with each loss, so filled with grief and catastrophic thoughts, insecurity, distorted flaws. It all gets heavy, sinking under all the cost. Sure that I'm not sure, I know when I don't know it, so I listen for that inner voice. It carries the wind, drowns out the rain, but will it make sense without the pain? Will color me blue, tickle me pink. Who knew that at the brink of
Check, 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 check. Mic check, it's your boy, Chef Choupino in the spot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Peace, love, and light to everybody within the sound of my voice. If you can hear my voice clearly, please place a 1 in the chat. And I'll wait patiently. Nothing, nothing. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. You can, okay, perfect. Check. Okay, I got a 1. Thank you. All right. So welcome to the Truth and Balance Show with the boy Chef Choupino and none other than the ubiquitous Andrea Lynch.
Hey,
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm jet lagged. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in that birthday spirit. I'm still in that Vegas spirit. You get what I'm saying?
I'm in Vegas spirit too. Okay.
Right. And just in case, folks, if you didn't have an opportunity to see the content, if you check Just Andrea's page, you check That Green Vegan Kelly's page, you check E Black's page, and you check my page. We did a lot of I went out to Vegas for the Crawford Spence fight and for my birthday, my 51st birthday, and everybody decided to stop popping in to town to kick it. So it turned into a hellified meetup. And then I call it a gift that E Black gave a brother to make the whole trip special. Without us knowing, without me knowing, he rented a few hours of studio time in Vegas at a podcast studio. And we went live. And it was beautiful. It was cool. Even on the block with Jen, who's local to Vegas, she popped in too. It was a hell of a time. Oh yeah. And after doing the stream, I just your boy just happened to run into a few of the baddies west. I don't know, baddies show. Yeah. Peace to DJ. What was her name?
Sky.
DJ Sky.
DJ Sky, yes.
But anyway, that's not what we're here for. All right, that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about some really, really interesting topics, and of course, I like to provide a certain degree of nuance in terms of reviewing the topics that we do. I don't want to just handle it from the surface level. So buckle up. But before we do that, we always have to bring the foundation of love to the forefront. All right. So let's talk about who's in the spot showing us love. First and foremost, one of the A1 Day ones, Mika Marcel. Thank you for joining the show. Danique Anthony, my original editor, who helped me learn the editing game, where now I'm editing my stuff by myself. Okay, while he's turned into a corporate phenomenon. All right, and I'll leave it at that. Who else we got in the spot? Dawn Frank, another one of my A1 Day ones, always supporting the team. Mr. O, you already know we spoke, so check your email. All right, top of it. Thank you for joining. Oh man, my little bro. All right, he looks more bigger and muscular than me, but in terms of the timeline, he's my little bro. Sir Hell Speaks. Man, I miss seeing you over here. Thank you for popping up, and good to know that you're good. Send my love to the missus as well, please. Sorry, y'all, if you guys see me looking down, I'm forgetting I'm back to using my nice camera, and my eyes are still training on the laptop camera. So, hey, E Blizzy, my guy, what's going on? Thanks again, man. Thanks again for making that birthday weekend perfect, man. That was a great freaking idea. You didn't involve anybody, and you just made it happen.
Thank
I
you.
think that was
You had a good time.
Man, it was a hell of a time, bro. Awesome. My guy that grows the community. TC, the other TC, Tuba Chat. Word up. What's going on, family? That's my boy. That's my brother right there, man. All right. Thank you for and please go check out his page. Oh, yeah. I'm being disrespectful. Sir Hell Speaks. Please go support him. All right. He has a big following because he deserves it. All right. He deserves more. Check him out. He's a good dude, and the perspectives he brings to the table is very insightful. You think about it, and he's also with the timer? Yeah, he's with the shits too sometimes too. When you see him in that Adidas tracksuit, then he's prepared for violence, right? Check out Tuba Chat as well if you want to grow your page. He has a great system, and he has an awesome community. All right. And of course, E Black TV, 30 for 30, baby. Salute. Guap heavy in the spot. What's going on, family? Guap was in Vegas too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Peace to Guap. That's my guy. He's also, you got the page set up yet? Yeah, I might want to go start supporting this channel now. We got some things in the works. He's about to be bringing you some really, really dope content. All right. So, and that's my fam right there. Who else we have in the spot? That's pretty much it. And the other folks in the wings and the clouds. So, let's talk. That case, let's call it the Alabama Riverboat Brawl. All right. Let's take a look at it. I want to pull it up.
Is my camera hitting right? Because people was telling me I look good in person. So is it hitting right today?
You conceited ass.
Yes, I am.
So, lighting is always important. Lighting is always important, not just frontal light. You want to catch light from either side so you look more three-dimensional. You get what I'm saying? Lighting is important. Let me see. And thank you, Miko Maso. Liking is also important, y'all. That's the only way the algorithm trusts that we're worthy of your attention.
Right.
So, Andrea, did you see the video?
Yes, I seen the video.
Tell me what you think about the video.
I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. You know, when I first seen it, I was like, what's going on? But, you know, I learned information. But when I seen, you know, he was trying to get them to move their boat and they were being uncooperative with him.
Yeah, so, first things first, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it the right way. All right. First, I'm going to give you the backstory. Pretty much, here's what you need to know. And if you want to reread it, you'll see it in the description. So, pretty much, the incident occurred on Montgomery Riverfront on the 200 block of Coosa Street. Montgomery Police Department stated 3 white men connected to the pontoon boat have been charged so far. Montgomery Police Chief Darrell Albert said Richard Roberts, 48, was charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault. Alan Todd, 23, and Zachary Shipman, 25, were each charged with 1 count of third-degree assault. Albert stated they're being charged for attacks made against a dock worker identified as a co-captain of the Harriet II riverboat named Damian Pickett, as a white 16-year-old boy who also worked for the riverboat that had been struck by Roberts. Only Roberts turned himself in as of Tuesday, Albert said. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to play the video. And if by chance YouTube takes it down, I'll be re-uploading this video within an edited format. Okay? Just so you know. Bear with me a moment. Man, it feels good live streaming again, yeah.
No, my God.
You got to do this more often, huh?
Right.
Let's get it.
We got action, baby. He ain't finna do nothing. Arrest that ass. Oh, Lord. Drop down that man. They ready. Oh, they ready. Big boy bumping like good gas. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Red back ass. Man, they couldn't do that with that man. They jumped off while you had to sit on him. Yeah, probably. Why you running, man? You scared, man?
All right. Peace to Big Rig Slaps in the house. Thanks for jumping in and being vocal. I definitely want everybody in the spot to talk that talk. So, in terms of what we've seen so far, You know, remember, this is about perspective. So, in terms of what we've seen so far, I want you guys to tell me, I want the chat, you know, be vocal, but I want you, Andrea, to tell me what you see so far. How did it make you feel? The initial altercation.
The initial altercation when the man threw his hat off, I knew it was going down then. But after that, when everybody else started jumping on him, I was like, but where's the help at? You know, I was thinking, I hope he don't get beat up too bad. You know, that's what I was thinking. I hope when everybody started jumping in on him, and I was just praying that he don't hurt his head or something. You know.
Okay.
He was trying to defend all of them off of him.
So I want you to tell me now. You told me about what you saw, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want you to be honest with me and tell me about the emotions that you felt. You know what I mean? Because that comes before anything that even comes out of your mouth or any reaction.
Oh, I felt a little angry. I felt angry. You know, I felt like I felt like is anybody's going to help the black man, because I just didn't want him to. I didn't want him to die. You know, he got family. I'm not sure he got family, but I assume he has family. I didn't want him to die. I was like, is somebody going to help him? And I felt angry, and I was like, you know, I was there. You know, if my friends were there, we would have helped him. So that's why I felt angry. To be honest.
No, I like your honesty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You definitely felt angry. You felt that emotion that somebody needed to protect that black man.
Yeah.
Okay. I want chat. One or two people in the chat. Tell me about what you think about what emotion you felt. And if you haven't seen the video, just tell me the emotion that you feel up to this moment within the video. Because what we did see was a person who was not a security guard, for the record.
Right.
That man that was on that dock who was working was not a security guard. He was actually the co-captain of that ship that was attempting to dock. He just was not on the ship. And for the record, that is a commercial docking station. That's you know, that's one of those riverboat sunset cruises where you go have dinner on the water. And the Harriet is one of the crown jewels that was brought back to the Montgomery, Alabama area by who is it? Bobby Burke. He was one of the previous mayors of Montgomery, Alabama. But nonetheless, this was not a small thing. This was not a small thing. This was actually a real ship that means something to the city of Montgomery. And that man was a co-captain. All right.
But we all did assume he was a security guard. We did not know he was a co-captain until today. I didn't know he was co-captain until today.
That's going to be another part. I want to make sure. You know what? I want to be real about it. There's something I want to write. And I don't always take notes, right?
Mm-hmm. Look at you. You changing up. You're getting older. You need a little change.
Yeah, you keep talking that old shit, you know. All right. So anyway, it's gonna be the Riverboat Truth and Balance Brawl. All right. So part of this show, I always like to speak to the inspirations for different shows. And the people that really drive me don't want to do it. And part of it, I was thinking about it. And then there was a conversation. I was mulling it over with Andrea. And then there was a contact that I got from a very important brother. A brother that's my contact in the Houston area. You know what I'm saying? One of the smoothest players that you ever know. And he said, yo, Chef. And pretty much he was like, please tell me you covering the Alabama Riverboat Brawl. And I said, you know what? That's the man upstairs speaking to me. And he made this brother his vessel. Let's go. Mr.
What's happening? I'm in here. Kicking the dough in.
Right.
Hey, man, you too. We got a problem today. We're gonna tell the
Please
truth.
let these people know what makes you a special, unique soul within this universe, my brother.
Oh man, my name is Mr. O, and I'm just living, man. I just do me. I give a different perspective on all things, man. With a little flair game attached to it, man. I ain't nobody special, man. Just somebody with something to say, you know. And I try to leave my impression everywhere I go. And I hope that everybody receives me and what I have to say with understanding. Know that I don't mean no offense to anybody. I just want to offer like a different perspective, man. So like, peace to everybody, man. And let's get to it. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Let me get you up the solo and making you feel uncomfortable. So I know you've seen the video. So this is the point. We've already switched from the doc, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep talking about that first part. Now, I know that you have a special perspective. You didn't actually share it with me, but I know the kind of thinker that you are. So what I want to do is allow people to feel the moments within the video, and then allow them to espouse how they feel. And then you and I kind of deliver whatever punch. That makes sense?
Right.
Because we broke bread together, bro. So I know that you think deeper than the average, right? So I want to go back to what we saw.
Yeah.
We talked about the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I look at this video is like a hodgepodge of everything.
Right.
Hodgepodge of WWE, a hodgepodge of Olympic aquatics, a hodgepodge of everything you can think of. Backyard brawl, everything. But what's crazy is that there were heavy emotional moments, right? And that moment when that young man dove, and that was over 100 feet away, he dove into the water. And he put on his best Michael Phelps.
They calling him Jermichael Phelps. I heard somebody say
they call him Jermichael Phelps. They call him Black Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Right. Aquaman. Yo, but I mean, I've been swimming all my life, and I'm not going to lie. His form was precise. And there was one point where he actually was doing a stroke, and he was literally right below the water, and he almost just came up and he maintained enough strength to put himself up on the dock, and he did it with boots on and clothes on. So for me, what that did was that showed me something about his nature, or the nature of a young man, and just seeing it in its rawest form, because he was a 16-year-old kid. All right. So I did see beauty in that. But as we get to all of the brouhaha, the kerfuffle that was going on, it started to change the game, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue playing this, because we're not going to be just playing this video, all day and breaking through little clips. We're going to play it, and then we're going to talk that talk. So let's go. If y'all can mute up, please, if it doesn't mute you.
I'll sleep down there. Everybody sitting there. Well, that's my boat right there.
Go get through here.
What the hell? Yeah, these white folks don't need black men that work security. We trying to get on the sipping cycle, the Marriott trying to come through, and the man was telling them to move their boat because the Marriott couldn't dock so the boat could get off, and everybody on the sipping cycle, we just wait. Why these folks just swung on and jumped on this black man, baby? The crew members that jumped out the Marriott, baby. They whooping ass, baby. Now come up out that boat, baby. They ready to move out. They ready to move out.
You ready to run?
Yeah. What's up? She went for her ass. She went for her. Woo! He ran and jumped in the water. Oh, look at the bras. The bras jumping their ass. Because y'all was wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. What y'all thought was going on? They put their ass in the water, y'all. Boom out! Boom out! Boom out! Boom! Try their ass out. Baby, please. Ooh, action. Boom out! Yo, look at the man that waving. He was the one that got dropped on. Don't crack up. Hello.
Oh my God! He's going to jail. You all went in the water.
And they kept telling him to move that boat, but the Harriet couldn't dock. Jumped on him. So when the boat got off, you know, they came on there. I ain't gonna lie, they started it. Yeah, he worked here. He was just telling him to move their personal boat so the Marriott could dock. So we waited to get on the sipping cycle, and they keep circling around, and they couldn't get off. He moved their damn boat, and that's when they came down there and jumped on the damn man. That's where that came from. What?
Just for a statement, we ain't talking about you, brother.
Yeah, they jumped on him. They shouldn't even be arresting him.
Okay.
They shouldn't even be arresting him. He shouldn't even be arrested. They jumped on him. He wasn't doing shit for his job. And they don't need to cry now because you were jumping on them too, baby. Yep, him too. Him, right here. Him. All them, baby. Why is she down there crying? Why is she down there crying? Him, all them.
Y'all got video? Anybody got video? Anybody got video?
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have it there. Let's talk about it. The feelings.
I want to say, before I say anything that I have to say, that I hope the mercies of God and the judicial system of Alabama is with all the black people that I see here. I don't want any of them to be harmed or hurt or go down or do time for any of it. But that being said, I'm not proud of what I see. You know, I am not proud of any of that. For us to act like that, we finally got to turn the gun on the rabbit, you know, like the rabbit got to turn the gun on the master, you know, like I don't like that we're taking it giving a feel of like we taking over the plantation finally, you know, 400 and some years later. And that is not something to be proud of in this moment. We don't look good as a people. Now I know it's a lot of comedy in there, and I'm gonna give some comedy to it. There's some good commentary to be added, because to be honest, man, if we go back to the beginning of this, we don't have any words that's being said with that worker and those white men. Everybody giving their own commentary, and then you got the Mayweather promoters up there, those women up there promoting a fight, like
Okay.
that's all you hear, promoting
So
the
listen.
fight.
So let
You
me
don't
cut you off
hear,
for a second. Let me just cut you off for a second, and it's
Yeah.
all due respect, but it's because you didn't never tell me what your idea was, but I said I had a feeling you were feeling what I was feeling, right?
Yeah.
So now we're both in the same pocket. I wanted to preface this with
Right.
a question, and this is the nuance of this particular conversation. One, especially I remember Andrea, she said something. She stated seeing that black man doing his job. That black man, right? So now my question to the people that are there, you don't have to answer it in public. You can answer it or think to yourself, man in the mirror type stuff. But for the people that were emotionally moved by this whole situation, would you have been as emotionally moved if you saw it was a white man that those white men were assaulting? That's the question that I have. So it's less based on the situation, but based on our and your personal perspectives on the situation. That's why it's called Perspectives from a Riverboat.
All right.
So it's the question that I want folks to think about. How would you have felt about this situation if it was one, a white co-captain that was on that dock and him being jumped by 5 white men? Would you have been as emotionally moved or stirred?
And
I pray
I'm
for
gonna say
honesty
that
from my chat.
100%. Like everybody that's on the bandwagon with this, they gonna say no, and that gives them purpose to even overlook the initial fact. This man is at work.
Right.
Like let's say that was your car. Your car was parked illegally, and the meter maid came by. We got a vehicle a bus that needs this spot because they have purpose here. Is it the meter maid's job or anybody's job to get into your car, put it in neutral, and move it?
No.
This man started moving the boat, and then he started doing this, and I don't know what was said, but there was a lot of animosity. And I'm all about keeping the peace, man. Like I'm about controlling your emotions, especially as men. Like man to man, we know we can't talk to one another like that because it can end in violence or death. And so when you start unwrapping somebody's boat or you move somebody's car by pushing it, unwrapping it and pushing the boat, if that was my boat, even if I'm wrong, what's the procedure as you a worker for this company? What do you do when that boat's illegally parked?
I want you to clarify that. Now I see where you're coming from, right? Now that wasn't the angle. I know my angle was more based on the perspective of how people saw what took place, right? But now, so you mentioned, because you did mention that the co-captain of the Harriet was getting, you felt he was being agitated.
We can't say what was said, but we saw him doing this. We saw him flipping that backwards. We saw
so you feel that he kind of amped it up too.
The boat. I saw him.
Right, he was untying.
Yeah,
and that's an important fact, and I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that.
That's not how you move a boat. That's illegal.
Can I say
One of the things that you don't do. Let me just land this one.
Okay.
He was untying the boat because when you moor your boat at the dock, you actually have the little winch there that you actually can tie your boat to. He was untying their boat. That's kind of the equivalent of getting on a man's motorcycle or getting in their truck.
No, you call the police or you call a tow truck or whatever you do, and you keep it calm. You don't raise your voice. You don't do, okay, sir, you don't want to move it, fine. Then I'm gonna have to take the proper precaution and move to the next step. You have a nice day.
Pushback. Watch this pushback.
I got some pushback.
You never heard of cussing like sailors? The sailing community, that's a rough class of individuals. They weather storms, you know what I'm saying? And the people that I know, even coming from Brooklyn, going to Sheepshead Bay and fishing, those are some rough cats. You know, you seen the Deadliest Catch and all of that. These dudes are, you know, no matter what kind of aquatic venture that you go on, you know, so they
And
should
I'm
be.
not saying he deserved what happened to him, but you don't touch nobody boat.
Okay, but in defense of him, Mr. O, if you go back and watch the video, the man was a little calm and trying to say, "Look, I'm trying to tell you to move your boat. I'm trying to bring the big boat."
You don't know what he said. We can't hear that.
You don't know what he said, but it looks like his hand gesture is saying, "I need you to move this boat for me." And then,
so you do sign language now?
Men don't talk with aggression. We got to control our emotions. We don't talk with aggression. We don't do that, especially man to man. We don't do that because it's only going to end in violence.
So are you saying? I'm just asking. Are you saying?
I'm saying all we have is body language. We don't have words. We have body language, and body language suggests aggression.
I think
absolutely, men. We move a little differently.
Aggression, man, hit him.
No, I'm saying if I talk to Chef and I say I use some choice words on asking them to get something done, he's gonna buck back because it's men.
Right.
We don't like the way, especially if alcohol involved. Men don't talk to each other like that. I'm gonna say it the polite way as possible. The customer service is a part of the job. You at work. So I don't care how drunk these people was, especially as more than them too. You don't want to start no fight. You want to keep it low profile. And he'll get the picture when somebody gets to hooking up his boat and moving it out the way the proper way. He shouldn't have touched it. And I guarantee you, if you jump in my car as a meter maid or as anything of a establishment, and you put my car in neutral and you start pushing it out the way, I'm gonna have something to say, and it's probably gonna be I'm gonna touch you. I'm gonna put my hands on you. Now, I'm not saying he deserved what he got, but he started something. He what they say, you fuck around, find out. They found out something, and then he found out something, and then they found out something back. That he had a whole team of people that was willing to have his back. And I applaud that. They didn't have nothing to do with the initial confrontation, but when they see a black man down, I talked to my best friend. We're military buddies today, man. And when we see anybody in distress, I'm not gonna let it go down. I'm gonna get involved too and stop it and do whatever I can. But initially, as an employee, you don't meet aggression. You don't use aggression to get your point across, especially when you're trying to get a job done. There's a procedure when a boat needs to be docked and there's a boat in the way. There's a procedure for that, and it should have never got to that point. He should control his emotions better. And this is the example that we're supposed to be leading women on. You got women out there like fighting too. I don't want the women fighting. If men are fighting, women should not be getting involved. But what the example we giving them?
That's true.
We're not giving the women anything to follow by our actions.
Right.
We got to be able to control our emotions and show them how to do the same thing.
True.
But that being said, when he got it, when he did get beat up, I applaud everybody from getting involved and trying to help that man. It did take it too far though, but I didn't like what I saw. None of it. It shouldn't have got there. It shouldn't have went there.
Yeah.
So if alcohol wasn't involved, do you think they would have had a peaceful resolution?
I think if he just would have asked them guys to move their boat and their answer was no and fuck you or whatever they would have said, and I would have just took what's my next procedure? Okay, let me call the authorities and get this boat moved the right way. I don't need to physically get involved with nobody. I'm not really trying to lose my. You here for a paycheck? You're not here to get emotionally invested into this, and you don't touch nobody's boat. I know this is why those men was upset. He put his hands on their boat. Wouldn't you be mad if it was if it was like he said, if it was a white guy? It would have been the same thing. A white man touched his boat, he would have been mad about it. He didn't put his hands on it because it's black, and that's the narrative being pushed. They fought him because he was a black man, and they do this to black people all the time. If he was a white man and he touched their boat, they would have been upset about it.
True.
Now they was wrong. They shouldn't have been parked there, but it's the right way to get that boat moved and get those people docked.
And it's funny, you know, what Mr. O was saying, because one of the questions that I was gonna ask was, if that man on the dock was not black and he was white, right? You saw you saw those people in the light blue, in the baby blue t-shirts that jumped off of that boat. Do I believe that those, because those are the staffers? So that's a co-captain. So that's one of the captains, one of the two captains of that ship. Would those brothers have jumped out for him as well? Absolutely. That's the captain. That's the coach. Okay. We normally see white coaches that run different sports. We always talk about it. And what happens? There's a lot of black players on the team, and anybody mess with coach, it's going down. So in terms of the perspective that I look at it from, when I watched it and watched it again and again and again, I tried to remove different variables to see if my perspective remained consistent. So it was like, if he was white. And then I even came to another perspective. If he was white, but the people on the pontoon boat were black, how would the black response have been?
I think those black people, if that white man would have touched those black people boat and tried to move it, they'd have jumped on him too.
Right.
Interesting. Right. But now I'm talking about the other people that became involved that were not part of the staff.
It wouldn't have been nothing to jump into. They'd have handled that white boy and it'd been over with. It was all black people there. Now, if the rest of the crowd was all white people and they saw their white man getting jumped, I don't know how white people feel what they would have done, but everybody jumped in because they saw a black man being attacked. It wasn't about who was right or wrong at that point. It was about helping that black man.
And that's pretty much the point. This wasn't supposed to be some long belabored, stream. There was more or less a point, an idea, and a perspective I wanted to share. When we view situations that take place, what we need to do is create different time-space continuums. Like, what is it? Marty McFly, Back to the Future. And for ourselves to see, well, how would I have felt if it was this? How would I have felt if it was that? How would I have felt if it was another thing? Why? Because that allows us to understand our strengths as well as our emotional weaknesses and understand how our perspective impacts our emotion, right? So now I look at the situation and I see how it's galvanized people. But the thing is, yes, it's good to see people galvanized, but it's literally what Mr. O said. It's almost like people are feeling as though, yeah, it ain't funny when the rabbit got the gun. Some people, some people call that slave mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you continuously view yourself within an oppressed state and state of mind. And it creates a dynamic whereby you look at certain things as victories when they may not actually be victories. And it takes away our focus on the greater good. So I put that out there. What do y'all feel about that?
It's amplified by just being in a place like Alabama. One of the last places to desegregate. That particular location being, I heard, an old slave auction block. The name of the boat being Harriet. It's all these things that are coming into play in the mentality of brainwashing those people who are living in Alabama as if they were 1 degree away from slavery. Yeah,
they don't see. They think what they got the white man, and they don't see no greater good. They only see it's a white man. He got beat up by a black man, and they don't see anything.
Waiting for an opportunity to strike back.
Yes.
And like, cause you see the black guy that everybody now. I don't want this man in jail, but he's wheeling a chair around. He's hitting anything white. You know, he's just looking for color. I mean, he hitting women with it. He hitting men with it, and I'm just not in agreements with beating up no woman with no chair, man. Like that's not cool. I don't care.
He caught himself a real problem. By the way, if you don't know, the woman who got struck with the chair, she happens to be the sister of the governor of Alabama.
Whoa.
So if any of the brothers are going to be charged, I believe.
Yeah, he on the hook right now. That's the one.
Yeah.
Never get there.
It's like an accessory. They was like, it was so hemmed up and so mad that they couldn't even see what they was doing was wrong.
The memes are funny and all that. The jokes, like I get why we joking about it, but it's not right. That's not the example we want to show the youth how to handle discrepancies in public. That's not how we want to show the women how we lead and handle disagreements or how men put out fires. That's not how it go. It shouldn't be like that. I'm about, you know, watching my emotions and governing them how I'm supposed to. It's the time when I need to roar, but that ain't it, man. You shouldn't get emotionally involved in a situation when you're doing your job. Right. You're dealing with drunk people on a daily basis out there. That's part of the culture and the environment right there. And if a drunk person don't want to move their boat, fine, handle it the right way.
Well, I did want to ask a question. All the men on the dock had handcuffs. What was they doing? Because it seemed like they were just standing around watching.
They didn't know who to put them on. They didn't know what was really going on.
Okay.
Right. They didn't have no idea. They were listening. If you see one of the tapes, yes, they're taking direction from one of the fight promoters. Right. Arrest them. They the ones started. They don't know what to do. Yeah. They just responding to it's mayhem at that point. You said the women, there was female officers right now that were scared to really get involved, and they shouldn't have had to. It's terrible, man.
It was almost like a domestic dispute.
Man.
So for anybody that wants to, you know, disagree or debate with what we have to say in this particular issue, come up.
100 watts.
All right, come through. Peace to 100 watts. All right. My G, peace to Aaron Laura as well. Thank you for coming through. Peace to the wise bard, Derek C. Williams in pocket. And we got somebody in the back that decided he has something to say. All right. I know my lighting is good, but I had to bring some of the darkness.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Y'all are wild with this dark
shit. Black TV. Go ahead, yo.
It was good,
Give me that Wesley.
What's going on?
Let me start. What up, fam?
It was good, yeah. I've been keeping up. I'm conflicted on this one.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I enjoy the memes and all that. I just don't like when people are like making videos titling it, you know, "Slave Revolt of Montgomery" and the black man has fought back, and it's like let's just keep it in the pocket to what it was. You know, it was some good old boys found out that they can't, that we not gonna back down, but I mean, let's leave it right there in the pocket. You know, it ain't more than what it is. Right. That's just my opinion. It ain't. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe in. Now, Chef, you know me. I've always told you. You know, I believe in cultural revolution. I believe at any moment in time, you know, the culture can move based on actions of people from afar. This is why when people say there is no black community, I'll be like, okay, nah, that ain't true. We can change the way we dress, wear clothes by just a couple of words by somebody from across the country. So I'm not going to downplay the situation and be like, well, it has no significance. Maybe it does, but in my opinion, this ain't moving me. Like, it ain't moving me more than anything that I've known. That first of all, people care. And when people see other people in dire straits, they're gonna step up. You know, a lot of people don't understand. The first black person that actually did try to show up tried to break it up. He wasn't throwing no punches. He was just seeing hey, this
trying to pull people apart.
Yeah, he was just seeing the situation.
He stepped over him and he pushed him away. Right.
Yeah,
right.
He wasn't there for the race riot or the black cause or what. Even if he was there, I mean, he's still. I mean, this is just human activity. You know, this is what most people do when they see injustice being handled, or just in general, just people not resolving their issues. So I see it as that. But then at the same time, I do also see it as, you know, some Alabama folks got to learn some shit because we're not backing down, because there was a time in which this wasn't okay. You had to watch your brother getting their ass whooped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can understand both sides, but I like I said, I just want to know. I just feel it's right where it's at. What, man? Where you been, boy? Boy, you the guy in the group chat that don't answer and just show up at the last.
Well, shit. I hit Chef up. I'm about to be in Atlanta this weekend. This weekend coming up.
Oh,
shit. Next week, all of next weekend. So I was trying to hit Chef up, you know, see if there's a possibility we can win. Because I definitely want to talk about that. Starting over, you know. Most of us have this thing where we got to start over in life. That's all.
Oh, we're gonna make it happen. At least we're gonna feed the kid. You get what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, bring him. You know, bring him to the mob restaurant. You know.
I don't know if he's ready yet. He might need to bring Pops with him. How's Pops, yo?
Yeah.
Oh, he good. He good. Still doing his shit.
My man. So talk to us. What's your perspective on this? Remember, it's about perspective. So talk to me. What's your perspective on this situation? Racial, no racial, turned into racial. What you think?
I think that two things can be true at the same time. It started out as something that was small, and it was just like a one-on-one thing. And then, of course, like by the optics of it, when you look at it, just watching the video, like it's one-on-one. It's a one-on-one fight. Then another white dude run up. Now he getting jumped. Now it's like 4 white people around. So like it turned into some racial shit just based on the optics of it. But it didn't have to be all that. It's just I'm agreeing with Mr. O. Like it's just a certain way you're supposed to move when you out in the world, and when you allow yourself to start receiving certain shit, it's because you weren't moving how you were supposed to. I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong with that whole fucking situation, but it was very entertaining. It's nice to look at. There's plenty of content that gets created behind it, and you know, it's just unfortunate that that's how motherfuckers want to operate. You know, it's just unfortunate that's what it is. But it was like just watching it. I mean, it is on the surface of it, it's cool. It's like, oh, black people, my brothers, we all came together. But that's what y'all chose to come together for. This is the moment. This is the moment that niggas finally stand together and say we are one. This was the moment, really.
Capstone moment.
Right.
It's way more important moments where we could have, should have. But this was it. Kudos,
nigga. I think about George Floyd in that situation. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of brothers standing around, and I would have loved to see that moment kind of.
That was a lot of brothers and women standing around watching this black man get his behind beat, and they're saying good for the white people get their behind beat. Come on now, it's like it's other issues that we can rally behind and be on one accord. This shows us that we could be animals and we can still ain't changed. And so no, this is not cute.
Now, at the same time, like I said, two things can be true. At the same time, this is a representation of what a lot of black people are carrying. Like, if we're going to keep it a being, it didn't have to be racial, but there are a lot of simple-minded people where everything is race. Everything is, I only fuck with black people. I only fuck with white people. I only fuck with my group. Like a lot of life is simply based down to race. When you go to a brand new school, if you move out of state and you go to a brand new school and you're trying to find a new group to mingle with, trying to find some new friends, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna find somebody of the same complexion as you, unless you one of them black kids that go to them all white schools. Then you have no choice but to make white friends. But typically everybody goes to what they're familiar with. Like it's just the reality of life.
But is that right? So if I move to Georgia, I got typically hang around with black people because I'm black.
Yes.
No.
Because on the surface, like when you move to a new place, you don't really know the ins and outs, the political rights and wrongs and shit. And what we know about this country is there's certain shit there's certain unspoken rules that happen in states like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. There's certain unspoken rules that happen in these states that's just the way of life. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just how they get down. That's just how it go. You know how the game is. Don't be mad when you come in the game and you get called for a penalty. Like you know what the fucking rules are. Like this.
Yeah, but I live in California and we out here with everybody. We love everybody.
Yeah.
No matter what race you are.
Yeah.
But that's not everywhere though.
But see, and she's right. In California, you know, if you ride the buses, you know, man, a lot of people will see somebody getting mishandled and everybody jumping in. Right. You fucking with the Asian women, man. Hey, man, chill the fuck out, man. You know what I mean? If you fucking with the Mexican girl or the Mexican dude, like chill the fuck out. Everybody jumping in, and I think this is what they said. That's why I don't see this situation as more than what it is. But I understand that because of the duality within Alabama. I've actually been to Montgomery. I haven't been to that particular spot, but I understand the duality in this situation. But at the same time, because I come from a background where people actually like stand up for each other, I can understand like what happened, and that's why I don't see it more than what it is. Just, and man, you see this stuff going on in man. Yeah, I don't know if y'all ever been to Austin and 6th Street. You know, the white boys, they come out the hip hop club, they be fighting. They be knuckling down. Then you see the white boys fighting the black dudes and everybody be standing around.
Alcohol is involved. Most of the time, alcohol is involved. People are drunk. And when people are drunk, they do dumb stuff.
Yeah. So
it's a chain of events that happened that we just keep omitting, though. You know, the first thing that happened was those people parked their boat wrong in the wrong spot.
Right.
The second thing happened is that worker touched their boat.
Right.
Yeah.
The third thing that happened is those people didn't like him touching their boat, so they jumped on him.
Sure.
What anybody would have did if you touch you move, put my car in neutral and push it.
Man, how much a pontoon costs? Like what?
You're right. They upset about that and they drunk. Now I'm not saying they should have put their hands on her, but that's why they did it.
Right.
Because he didn't follow procedure in getting that boat moved the right way. He said, "I'm gonna just unwrap it and push it."
Right. Now. Oh, I did hear that. Now this is just from what I've heard, but I can't factually back it. I heard that if you are parked illegally or you're docked illegally, whoever's in charge can de-anchor the boat and push it down the stream.
Okay.
So they can damage your boat.
He's saying okay.
If you parked illegally.
Well, it's not actually damaged because basically it's removing the boat from its mooring.
Don't they have boats that tow other boats?
Yeah, but I think this is like from my understanding, this is a river law. So these are river people, so their standards are different from say a parked car. So they understand what's going on. So I don't know everything. I'm not a river rafter or river person. I don't have no boat yet. And
your boat and somebody pushed your boat downstream, you're just gonna be, oh man, I wish I would have moved it in time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like parking your car in a spot where it's not supposed to be. If somebody comes and sideswipe that shit, that's your fault because it shouldn't have been there.
That's not a sideswipe. The repercussions I would get a ticket or it'll get towed.
But if
You're not about
what
to
E
jump
Black
in my
is saying,
car and then put it in neutral and then
And
push
then
that hoe
push it
down.
down the street.
but if what E Black is saying is valid, what he is saying is valid, if the rule is you parked your shit illegally, I gave you an opportunity to move it and you didn't. Now I can't. If that's what the rule is, that's what the rule is. You can't get mad because somebody followed the rule.
It still puts that worker in danger, regardless. It changes why he did what he did, but he's still in danger because
Okay.
there's people gonna be upset about that.
How's he in danger if he's doing his job? If the rule is he can push that boat, if that's the rule, how's he endangering himself?
Because somebody's gonna be upset about you putting their hands on their boat.
And somebody's gonna be upset about their car getting repoed. That's the nature of the game. That's just how it goes. When you pick that job, when you decide to get into that career field, you got to take what come with it. When you chose to be into the military, you were understanding that you were taking a risk of being deployed and going outside of the country. That's just the nature of the game. When you decide to be a cop, you know sometimes you might be a little on your toes when you pull somebody over. Like, it's just the nature of the game. That's your job. Take the L.
So if that's
right.
if that's his job,
People are going to be upset about it. I don't think that they should have touched him. I don't think that they had a right to jump on him. I'm just saying if that happens to anyone, they're going to be upset about it. Yeah. I didn't think that was the procedure to unwrap somebody's boat and push it out the way. Yeah, like it just doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, I heard that was like kind of like the river. What Don Frank is saying, maritime laws. It's some like there's a different set of laws for different groups of people on river and boating. You know.
Wow.
So I think that like that is from my understanding, that standard procedure is that you're allowed to de-anchor a boat that's parked in a or docked.
And today in the press conference, the person who was speaking said the man was doing his job. So he said the man was doing his job at the press conference today. So basically, they don't think he had done anything wrong.
Yeah, which is surprising.
He's the captain of the ship. He's one of the captains of the ship that's supposed to actually dock there. Peace to S-Eds. Thank you for dropping through. One of our illustrious. We are so broke bread together as well. Breaking bread with your boy Chef is always an important thing. That's the fat boy in me. How about that? But anyway, back to this thing here. And we got my A1 day one. The trifecta has been completed. It's the 3-pronged Voltron, quantum Dina metaphysics. She got promoted, y'all. All right. Mika Marcel and Dawn Frank. So back to this thing here.
My whole point is to men to control your emotions better. That is my whole stance. I don't know procedure or whatnot, but we should control our emotions better and find a way to de-escalate situations before they get physical.
So I want you to talk in terms of perspectives, because remember, that's what this is truly about.
Right.
Because remember, our perspective controls what we see and what we experience. And what we see and experience fuel our emotions, right? So I want you to kind of speak to the perspective aspect. And you've definitely been very vocal in terms of the perspective of the way Black people consider certain things. You were part of my colorism episode, and you have some really valid points and some great perspective. So I want you to speak to the perspectives that will bring people, let's say, to more of how you think. What do you think would be the appropriate perspective of viewing this entire thing?
Well, like mentally responding to anybody's emotions, no matter especially if I'm on my job and I'm around women, or I have women with life in these women are trust. We're entrusted with the responsibility of these women that's around us to keep them safe. There's a whole lot of women here. So I'm going to always try to find a way to mentally respond to this situation. I see some drunk guys, they got their boat in the way. I don't know what procedure is, but I definitely don't want to argue or raise my voice or make gestures to make them hostile. I definitely don't want the situation to be hostile. You talk about the military, we definitely not going to try to like make a situation way more hostile than it's supposed to. I remember going to just the local shopping in Afghanistan. My language on how I talk to the guys who are running those shops could prevent them from bombing us when they go home for the night. Just on how I talk to them, you know, like I can say I can't cuss them out or raise my voice or raise my hands. I got to find a way to de-escalate that situation because I know it can get to that point if I choose to just lose my cool.
Well, what happens if you're in a situation to where entitlement is involved?
Saying like who's entitled?
What if the white people felt that they were entitled?
Yeah, if it got to the point where I got to protect myself, then I just got to protect myself.
But they, you know,
wait. How can you judge somebody?
You can't tell me to move shit. You can't tell me to move.
White people's feeling of entitlement. I want you to quantify that though. How you can quantify their feeling of entitlement?
Because they may have not felt that they needed to move.
Yes.
So do you believe that their whiteness? Do you believe that their whiteness is the reason that they did not want to move? So let me make it easy for you. There was a poll that I put in the chat, and it asked, "Do you believe this was a racial issue?" Right now, I asked it in that way just to see what folks would respond to.
I don't believe it was
my question is, E-Black, do you believe it was a racial issue? I don't want any context. Yes or no?
Do I believe it was a racial issue? The fight or
that's what I'm asking you. No context.
I gotta
continue. It was a racial
because I do believe in the beginning it was a racial issue, but I believe it. The fight wasn't a racial issue.
I don't believe it was a racial issue, but I do believe it's white privilege issue.
There we go. There we go.
That's white privilege. That's why they didn't move that boat. Because what they
how is it one and not the other? I don't understand how it's one.
They were so privileged. They were so privileged. They could not
cook on this one.
Let me say what I'm saying. I don't believe it was a racial issue. I believe it's white privilege issue because I really believe when that black man asked them to move their boats, because I believe he asked them, and they was like, "I'm not moving my boats." They felt like it's their privilege to be on that dock, and they didn't have to move that boat.
Okay, so pause, everybody. Okay. So technically, that means it was a racial issue because they was not going to have some nigga telling them what to do with their boat. So don't say
I don't think it was I don't think it was
let me just I want to connect to what Andrea is saying, right?
Yeah.
Then you're saying it was a racial issue. You're calling it a white privilege issue because guess what? If I'm gonna ask you the question now because it's about perspectives, my sister. Mm-hmm. If it was 5 drunk brothers on a boat and some white man went to do the same thing, what would you have called that? If the situation was different and that person messing with the boat, that captain was a white man and it was 5 drunk black men and he went and messed with their boat, what do you think? What would you call that? Negro privilege? What would you have called that? Would you have called it a racial issue? I know.
Different.
Here's what I think you would have called it. You would have said, go ahead.
I don't call it a racial issue. The problem is they didn't want to move. They felt like they were entitlement for that boat to be there. And sometimes, let's be honest and tell the truth.
Take them dancing shoes off, sis. I asked you a specific question. I asked you, I'm gonna keep asking you, right? On site, yo. I'm gonna keep asking you. If it was 5 drunk brothers on that boat and it was a white man that was the captain that was dealing with them, I want you to tell me what you would have considered that situation. Would you have what kind of privilege? I want you to tell me what you would have thought that was. That's the question I'm asking you.
I don't think black people will do that. I think that black people might have.
Whoa, you don't think what?
They might have moved their boats. Okay, they might have moved their boats.
No, see, you're trying to move the goalposts now. I'm
I'm trying to
asking you. I just literally. All right, you're gonna
They
just
might have moved their boats.
say
They might have
uncle.
moved
Say
their boats.
uncle. Say uncle. Just say uncle. Because I'm saying, yo, you ain't gonna answer it. You get it. So your lack of an answer is a strong enough answer that I need. Perspectives, man.
But it's also context. It's also context. I mean, as Black people, we may do something the exact same thing as white people do, but it may be for different reasons. Now, don't get me wrong. I wanted to bring this point in. There's been plenty of times when you go to the liquor store and a guy in a slab in Houston, Texas, taking up 3 parking lanes,
Right.
including the handicap.
Yeah.
And we're trying to ask why you take so much space.
It's like let's be so. I mean, there is an entitlement there.
Yes.
So whether it just because we call it white entitlement doesn't make it the most egregious thing in the world. It's like it's okay. It's white entitlement. You're on the boat. You're in Alabama. You had white entitlement for a little moment with your little pontoon and your Bud Lights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's fine to say. It doesn't mean that it's like the end of the it doesn't mean that they were like the KKK marching down the river. You know what I mean? It's just saying what it is. They had white entitlement.
You think? Do you think so? Okay, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's white entitlement, or do you think it's socioeconomic entitlement?
No,
Maybe
You did say that lady was related to the governor.
Yes, she did.
Right.
She did.
Okay.
So
The lady who got hit over the head is the sister of the governor of Alabama, right? So now the question becomes: hold on, is it socioeconomic empowerment? Or is it white? Because so far nobody has answered the question, right? Except kind of Mr. O in terms of the emotion he's brought to his point. I keep stating if it was 5 drunk brothers in that boat and the situation went down exactly as it did, right? The only answer I got from somebody is, oh no. I think they would have moved that boat. Get the hell out of here. That's not the scenario.
No. I answered. I said that's what.
Our first defense is not to fight. We not always want to get the fighting. That's not always us. Okay, I'm just being honest. Yes, I don't think all.
Oh my God.
We always want to fight all the time. That's not us. Sometimes we're peaceful people too. We are peaceful people too. Okay.
Yo, you know the name of the show is Truth and Balance, right?
They move that boat. I believe they would move that boat.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. I, as a grown ass 30-year-old man, find myself to be in the same mind as that teenager that decided to jump off of the boat and swim his ass over there. No, some of us be looking for it. I don't even need a good reason. I just need any reason whatsoever for me to finally be able to put my foot off in somebody. It's too many niggas that walk around with that mind. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's too many niggas that walk around with that. I don't need a good reason. I just need any reason. Yeah. That's the exact reason why we have the gun problems that we have in cities like Chicago. Why niggas is always.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if it was 5 black men, they ain't gonna move the boat either. So what I'm saying is,
that's not what we said. You can't talk about what we was finna think about that when you won't even tell us an answer. So how you gonna do that? You got to give an answer. You asking us our answer.
I said I believe black men would move the boat. I said I believe they would move the boat.
That's not what it was, though. You see, that's what I'm saying. If I'm creating that universe, you can't change it. Listen,
I'm not changing it.
I'm asking you, Andrea.
Yes.
If it was a white man that was the captain and those brothers on the boat jumped that white man, what would you have thought the issue was? That's the question, man.
But that's historically different, though.
Wait. You bailing out. You be simple.
It was race too. Okay, I would have thought it was race too.
You would have.
You just asked me the question.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm processing it right now. I got somebody here. I'm processing it right now. You know what I'm saying? So you would have thought it was race 2. What? Tell me about that. What you would have thought it was?
I would have thought it was. I would have thought it was not okay for them brothers to beat up the white man. I still think it's not okay that the white people beat up the black man. I think it was wrong. And then I think the aftermath of all the chaos was wrong too. I mean, it's so many wrongs in this situation that I think it started with white privilege, because I do still feel like them white men thought it was okay to have a boat knowing it's not supposed to be there. Because number one, all this started from white privilege. Because they feel like
you keep calling it white privilege. You act like niggas don't own boats.
I'm not saying we don't, but I'm saying
know who's the number one people that be double parking. I'm from Brooklyn, yo. The number one people that be double parking and doing all kind of craziness is us. So you just put us on water, okay? Come on, man. You
just put us on water.
They got a boat.
Wait, Chef, you just put us on water.
Okay, so I'm
all of this shit. This whole conversation made me believe that what Mr. O is saying is right. The way as a grown man how you move and operate dictates so much around you. When that grown ass man, even if the procedure was for him to untie the boat and push that motherfucker downstream, even if that was the procedure, you know you are in the state of Alabama and it's a whole bunch of white people around you. You should have got on your phone, your radio, walked up to the top of the pier and called your supervisor and said, "Hey, bro, I tried talking to them. They ain't want to move their shit. I don't know what to do." He stood there and argued with them before he threw his hat in the air. Before his hat went in the air, he decided to stand there and argue with them.
That was the choice. Or apparently either. You could have, hey, I need police escort. I need to get this boat moving, and I got some unruly passengers.
No, what if the procedure was to do that? Like, we gotta understand this this is nothing new. I don't think there's nothing new in this situation.
But I'm saying I got some unruly passengers. I feel like it's gonna go the wrong way. Can I please get some police escorts while I move this boat?
He threw the hat up like he didn't feel like he couldn't control the situation. And then
I'm saying, if that was the procedure, you know that something like that probably doesn't need to be carried out by yourself. Even if it's not a police escort, your supervisor, another coworker, bring one of the women over, find a white lady with the same color shirt on as you, something. You could have did something, my nigga, but he decided to stand there and argue. I'm thinking about from the perspective. I'm thinking about from the perspective of being at work, right? At my job, I'm the general manager, so my responsibility is over everybody. So I don't have the time or the ability to stand there and argue with a customer inside my store. I just don't have that privilege. And I wouldn't expect any of my employees to do that. If you are on my fucking roster and somebody's giving you a problem, my fault, I apologize. Back your ass up and walk and find me. Something, anything. If you a cashier, I don't give a fuck if you a cashier, if you serve, I don't care what you are. Like your position, the position he was in, you need to step away and go find somebody of a higher pay grade, cuz that's what you need. Find a higher pay grade. That shit went way too left. It went way too left, way too fast because too many people was making emotional decisions. If you at work and you know all these people are drunk, be smarter, cuz you can't be a bartender dealing with drunk people and be ignorant as them. Like it's just, come on, fam. Like we know the rules of the game when you get into it.
Is the guy in street clothes? Hold on. Time out. 100 watts. Is the guy in street clothes?
Which one?
E Black. I want to talk to that one. I'm a corporate executive, brother. Okay. Even if I'm a suit, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna bust my gun. Even if I'm in a suit, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna do what I need to do to protect myself and those that are within my love periphery, right? That love circle. All I'm saying is, in terms of me, if I was that captain, okay, I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been jumped, all kind of shit. I'll tell you this. For me, I always do what I consider a threat assessment. I'm that dude, if we go to the restaurant, my back is not to the door. I look at the exits. I just happen to do that. It's natural. So in that situation, especially when things get heightened, bro, I'm going to pay attention to the situation. I'm going to do a threat assessment. I'm going to see what's my biggest win, what's my biggest opportunity. And if I was him, it didn't look like his squabbles was too effective. You understand what I'm saying?
He's 65, I heard too.
65.
So it's like
he was doing good. He got jumped.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it
I
real.
mean,
He got jumped.
wait. No.
I mean, everybody's squabbles is not
First
good
of
looking
all-
good
first
on
of
camera
all-
when you're getting jumped.
First of all, I tell you this. Okay? You being a dude that trains in the gym, I would have gave you better opportunity. Okay? I would have gave you opportunity. Especially with the hat toss. Imagine if I was the other person. If I was the other person,
It's funny, though.
and then the dude in front of me does the hat toss. Me personally, I will be at his neck before his hand comes down or the hat lands somewhere, because I understand what that means. What some people called really great theatrics, like, man, that hat toss was epic. Piece of big rigs, right? No offense. But I'll say this. That hat toss, it was okay. Fuck this job.
It's up.
Hat toss was fun. Remember, he's a captain. Captain don't take their hat off, family. Okay? The hat toss, man, fuck this job.
It could have
It's
been a
about
distress signal. Signal. It could have been a distress signal.
He took that shirt off too after he got up. He definitely took that shirt off.
So at this point, you are no longer. At this point, you gave it up. Hold on one second. Did y'all watch the? Hey, what's up, Kim? Did y'all watch the press conference? The black man was totally in the right, not the white people. So
This is what I want to say to Kim, though. I want to say this to Kim.
Kim just pulled it. Kim just pulled up. What we were talking about, Kim, was more so in terms of the perspective of if it was not a black man and it happened to be a white man, and the perspective that and the emotion that all of us generated from it. Some got annoyed, some felt empowered, right? So what we're talking in reference to is the perspectives of those different emotional archetypes of people. You follow what I'm saying? So now, press conference, they're going to say one thing, they're going to say what they feel. Basically, they're going to go with what the prosecutor is going to go with, right? But we're just talking about the emotional response to what we saw initially.
See, the press conference has an agenda. They trying to calm the public down. That every press conference you ever see, it could be the White House. They trying to keep it could be a meteor coming for America. In the press conference at the White House, everything's safe. We don't want anybody to panic.
Side note, he was a co-captain, Big Rigs. He was actually one of the co-captains.
But what y'all think the number one thing that corporate office, when they walked into that meeting this morning, how does this not happen again? What do we do so this never happens again? How that's what they trying to figure out. They never want that to happen on their property again.
Well, the thing about that is that this is kind of like I said, this is kind of one of those situations to where it's like, you know, it's a maritime thing. It's an environment where both public and private entities kind of converge on each other, and there's supposed to be some type of like respect. You know that these big boats, these tour boats are coming through, but at the same time, you do have a certain right, but you have to understand where you're parking.
Right.
You can't just be docking anywhere. So I think it's like not everything is so rigid. Like I would say in a big city where if you see a red sidewalk, you don't park there. You know, I don't think it's that rigid. It's more of a respect thing between, and then so that's just my opinion.
What about it's respecting of people who have boats? I have been out in the lake with people who got boats and stuff. It's very respectful. They don't want to hit each other. They want to say, okay, people are drunk. They want to take their time. It's what about respecting about people who have boats and for everybody's safety. And if you're drunk, don't be doing dumb shit.
See, this comment right here, why this one bugs me is because we it's a whole lot of black people that say that we got to stop being animals and we need to be better and blah, 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 and all this. But this right here is the prime example of an emotional ass nigga acting out of character. I would have been mad if I was waiting for an hour for, but I would have punched somebody in their mouth too. Like this, that is the complete opposite of what it is that we sit on these platforms talking about. We try and do for the culture and for our people and shit, but we acted emotional as shit. Like sometimes you just gotta take the L because you just gotta let the authorities find out how this can't happen again. What do we do to make sure that people aren't sitting on the boat waiting for an hour for them to get off again? Like let's figure out what we can do moving forward so this shit don't happen again. Because responding the way that we did to that situation doesn't help. Like y'all can't.
It helped.
It helped what? What did it help?
It didn't help nothing.
What did it help? We are all completely aware of the perspective that this country has on us as African Americans, as black people, as everything like that. I know what people I know what people see when they look at me when I'm outside in public. A tattooed, dread-headed black man, average height. Like I know what they see when they look at me. I know what kind of perception police get when they pull me over and they walk up to my. I'm aware of this shit, and because I'm aware of it, I move a certain way on purpose. I make sure that I speak to people respectfully on purpose because I know off top is gonna come off aggressive if I sound anything other than yes sir, no sir, all that bullshit. I know that. I know the rules of the game, and I can't get mad when the game kicked me in my ass when I don't play by the rules.
But not everybody know how to read the room, Watts. Not everybody.
That is a lie. That's a lie.
No, that's
a lie. What you tell me if it so you think street niggas don't know that they street niggas and they're walking around with the perception of being street niggas? They do certain stuff on purpose to be perceived as street niggas. Like, come on, I don't believe that. In 2023, I don't believe that. If we was talking about the 50s or the 60s or the 70s where everybody was hopeful that one day we can all be free and together, sure, you could probably have that argument then. But we in 2023, fam. We know how the game goes. If your mama ain't taught you how the game go, it's her fault.
How to read the room, then why sometimes when the police pull us over, our first instinct is to run?
That's it. Okay. You chose to run. You chose to run because you know the police have a messed up perception of you. You just chose the wrong action. That's all it is. You know they have a fucked up perception about you. You just chose the wrong way to go about it.
But if that's the case, if you say everybody know how to read the room, why is the first instance to run? Why you just can't give you my license, do what they're asking you to, and just make it home?
Oh, you just pulled me over because I'm black. Because I'm black. Because what you're saying is the people that respond that way to police are completely aware of the fact that there is a perception in this country about black people and police. If you respond that way to a police officer pulling you over, that means you are completely aware of how the world perceives black people in terms of police interaction. You're completely aware of it. So when you choose to respond in a manner that is anything other than following the directions of the police officer, that means you have understanding of the perception. Now, if you agree with it or not, that's a different conversation. Do you think you should follow along with the rules? That's a different conversation. But when you make the choice to ignore the commands of the police officer and run your black ass away, that means you're aware of the perception. But what you choose to do with that perception is what makes the difference between you getting home to your kids or getting killed in a fucking red light stop. That's what makes the difference. Is how you respond to it.
100 watts cooking. Woo.
That's true.
What y'all
You
think
mentally
about
respond to emotion. That's the only way.
I know we learned that if you have a boat, I'm watching anywhere I dock. And if somebody come up to me in a uniform saying I can't dock there, then I'm gonna make sure I have some hitters with me.
Yeah. Don't dock your boat in my damn spot. How about that?
Yeah, I mean that's really what I heard, what I learned. I didn't know it got busy like that in the docks.
No, I did.
Oh shit.
Listen,
So are we in agreement?
You leave your Xbox in my crib. I'm playing that shit.
Right.
The other funny comment that was up there was free the chair, man. Are we are we supposed to be in agreement that the nigga that was walking around slapping people with a chair should be out of jail? Is that what we thinking right
No, he's gonna get a WWE contract.
now?
Eight. What's his name? Aaron, the 16-year-old that swam. Some college, some HBCU is gonna give him a swimming scholarship.
I hope they have some mercy on him because I know his initial intention was that they were all out there trying to help that black man, but carrying on like that ain't the way to go. Just hitting everything that's Caucasian ain't the way to go. That wasn't right at all. I'm not proud of what I saw.
Caucasian. And you damn caught you a real charge. They say keeping it real goes wrong, and you decide today you're gonna pick up a chair and start smacking people, and you you smack the governor's sister.
And you smack the governor's family member. That's hard to come back from.
Right.
They're gonna pull some strings. You know how the system works.
Right.
I hope they merciful on them though. Whew. It's sad. It's not a good day for Black America. I don't think we should be shrining this moment or making this new Juneteenth to August. I don't think we should.
Videos. I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm like
putting the chair in the museum, all that. I'm not proud of none of that.
The Black Panther movie, the music. Oh my God! The Avengers assemble.
It's funny, but
they've been wilding on. They've been putting too much. They've been really putting 2 on a 10 in the way we call it. Saying in the Bay, they putting 2 on a 10, man. Y'all.
So what you think, Lizzie? I mean, do you think so? Now my question is, that's the next question. Do you think what took place is helpful to our community?
No.
Yes, I do. If we're choosing the right battle. I think that what happened on that dock is very powerful if we're going to do it for the right shit. Because somebody didn't move their boat, that's not the argument we need to be having. Right. But if we are going to actually come together in terms of this police brutality shit, cool, let's do that. If we are going to actually come together in terms of red line zoning or whatever the fuck, if y'all really want to find a real issue and stick together and push on that motherfucker, if black people want to come together about reparations, if that's what we're going to choose, fine. But because a motherfucker didn't move their boat, come on, my nigga.
Right. Like you said, we got plenty of causes to push the line and revolt, and we don't do it. But in a case like this, they had no problem in revolting, and this not what we should have been revolting about. It makes us look bad. I wonder if y'all think the white people that's showing support for us are laughing with us or at us.
They probably say them ghetto niggas still act this how they act.
They expect us to do something ignorant.
No, I think it helped because it showed that we ain't the only ones wilding out here. We all know situations like this. There's a lot of situations in history or in just everyday life that white people be wilding too. They be out of line too. They don't give a fuck too.
That's true.
And they ready to knuckle up just as much as us. It ain't just us. We are known as the violent people, but we keep saying as African Americans that we're not the only ones.
But it's us. It's more likely us doing dumb shit.
No, it's not more likely us. It's likely everybody. It's likely drunk people do drunk stuff.
Right.
So you don't see in Chicago white people dying a lot. You see black people dying a lot in Chicago. In the major cities, they dying a lot. Poverty and jobless. That's us.
There's a lot of white people who die in America too from gun violence too.
We just getting the
remember, Andrea, we as a people, we barely push.
We are the face 14%. Of the shit.
We just getting exposure.
14%. All right, we're surpassed by the Hispanic community in many states, and so what I'm saying is that. Remember, if we're 14%, the white folks make a higher percentage. So there's more white people that die of gun violence. There's more police that are killed by white people. Hold on. You arguing something I ain't say yet, man.
Okay.
I'm just saying, right? We There's more white people that kill police officers. There's more white people that are killed by police officers. You know, there's more white on white crime. If you go and bring percentages in, that's where it starts to turn the tide, right? But numerically, because there's more, they have more. You understand what I'm saying? So it's all. Go ahead.
Just don't make the news. That's all I was saying.
And not only that, black people are the face of violence, ignorance, and fuckery. I think this helps in showing, like, yeah, y'all do the same shit too. So I think that's in this situation. That's all I see it for. Is like, yeah, y'all don't, like when I was talking about Austin. Y'all don't talk about the white boys in the bar banging out. Y'all don't talk about the situations in every white club that's in America when MMA is on and they gotta break up the white bars. All you hear is about the black clubs getting shot up. It's like, or the black club fights, and it's like, yeah, I think this situation just helps because it shows that we're not the only ones that are a part of the fuckery too. And that's it. That's it.
That's your mission. That's your ministry.
That's my ministry.
So I just wanted to holler at Kim and Miss Deb, right? Peace to both of y'all for joining. So, like I said, this conversation is more so related to the perspective, right? Your perspective. And I see you guys have feelings on it. The thing that I was asking, especially for the people that feel the way you do, my question was, if that co-captain who was on the dock was actually a white man, and it was 5 drunk brothers on the boat, and these dynamic took place. Forget everybody on the riverboat, just what took place there. That initial jumping, if you will, took place. Do you think you would have felt the same way that it was a racial issue? That's the question I have for the both of you, and I understand you tuned in a little late to the mix. But the thing is, what we're doing is challenging people's perspectives and giving everybody watching an opportunity to try and think about if they had a different perspective, based on a change of events or a change of variables.
I think in that scenario, whether those people were white or black, or I think they would have, whether that employee was white or black, I think those same white people would have jumped on whoever he was because they got their boat touched. I feel like they would have jumped on a white man the same way.
I disagree with that.
You do?
So you disagree?
I think because he was black, I think it heightened the white entitlement.
Why? The white entitlement. That's a concept for you.
We don't know. But yeah.
What is white entitlement?
White entitlement, which is the superiority of the white complex. It's to be able to say that, you shouldn't be able to talk to me because I'm of certain hierarchy over you and sociologically. So,
Okay, so I got a question for you. I want you to think about the youth and somebody between 20 and 19 and 28, and they have their Charger 392. They got their Hellcat parked in front of somebody's driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of that vehicle, be it a white person, black person, or whatever, decides to go in and move that person's Hellcat from their spot. You've seen all kind of things take place. So my question to you is this: what would you call that? Would you call it black entitlement? Because if the owner of the property was black and the owner of the Hellcat was black, would you call it black entitlement? Because we throw these labels and we place labels on certain situations. But one of the things that I've learned in my 51 travel spins around the sun is this: all of those labels we create are based on our nature versus nurture continuum. It's all based on how we feel. And how we, especially if we're not able to even come to grips with the way that we feel and our perspectives about things, how can we actually go and judge what's in somebody else's heart and mind and say, oh, they were white entitled? Why couldn't they just be a bunch of drunk white guys? The same way if it would have been a bunch of drunk brothers. We seen World Star. We know how we get down. We don't need World Star. All we need to do is have a family and have a family reunion. So
I didn't say that there was no such thing as black entitled.
That we in our own communities watch ourselves destroy each other.
Oh my God!
So now, in
Chef,
the worst
okay.
ways, no, you went there. In the worst ways, we destroy ourselves.
I
So
never
now
said
when
that.
we see something else. We jump ourselves, bro.
I acknowledge
You
black
jump
entitlement. I
So,
acknowledge black entitlement.
So when
I am
when a
black.
brother
I
jump
acknowledge being
another
black. See,
brother,
no, you
that's
can't
black
change the
entitlement?
question. I acknowledge black entitlement. I said that, yeah, there's guys that jump in that in a slab. They jump in front of the. They park all type of way in front of the liquor store. That's black entitlement.
They do that here.
So I don't understand why calling white entitlement out is such a demonic statement. I'm acknowledging the fact that, yeah, this was probably a white entitlement situation. And yes, there are situations that black people have entitlement to.
See, I don't know. We don't know like the words that was exchanged. I just seen.
I bet they said the N-word.
I don't know. I don't want to go there.
Look at that. You just bet. And they like master type of heart, and they're all of that. You know everything about their soul, and they are their slave master soul and their slave master heart, and you know they just wanted to just grind the Negro down into dust.
No, I'm just asking Mr. O, would it change your perspective if they call the black man the N-word? I'm just asking.
No, I still don't move on words. Like words don't move my actions. I'm not gonna lose my character because of some words.
You have been trained. Okay, you has been trained to depress your emotions and figure out how to get out of this situation. Not everybody know how to do that. So I'm just saying, could they use the N-word to trigger that black man?
It could have. I mean, that's a possibility. It's speculation, though. So I don't know.
So that's why I'm asking. So that's why
it's possible. Yeah, that's reasonable doubt.
Would it change your perspective about it?
It still wouldn't change my perspective on how he should have handled it.
Okay.
What I saw was drunk people got their property touched and they ain't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's just a chain reaction.
Okay.
There's a chain reaction happen after that.
Okay.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
Listen, it's perspectives. Perspectives make the change. Perspective makes the scene. Perspectives make the scene. So there's going to be multiple people that watch it in a particular way, right? When you watch a lot of things going on, there's a lot of white folks that not celebrate our struggles, but celebrate our fight. There's a lot of white folks that are in the paint with us in certain situations and recognize the oppression that people speak of. But now I want you to think about if it was a white person watching that. Okay, and let's ignore any hyperbole related to what might have been said because we have
the movie Time to Kill. It just reminded me when you said that when he's like,
we got no evidence. We got no evidence of what was said. So, do you think the white people would feel that it was white entitlement? Because there's racist white people that's out there. When they watch a video where somebody's being racist to a brother, they'll enjoy it. You know what I mean? But guess what? They will also admit that it was a racist act because that's what they're enjoying. A lot of people want the mess. So what I'm asking is,
Yeah, they do.
let's think about the white people perspective that they see it. Let's think it happens to be a
Alabama
white
white,
person,
too. This is
right?
different.
An Alabama white person that has a pontoon boat on the river, and how they would feel about this particular situation. It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I keep saying it, this show is about perspectives and how
Roll
we
Tide.
allow emotion to take us to certain places. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. You know they out there. Roll Tide.
So, oh damn, I didn't even realize the camera was off. My bad, y'all.
That's
So let
funny.
me do this. Struggle streaming as usual. Let me take a look at our poll. I was about to say, let me let y'all take a look at my poll, but that would have been pause. So, you see what I did there? So, what the hell is
I agree with Don, what she said. I'm glad everybody left alive. You know, that's just.
I don't think worse than Alabama is Mississippi. It would have been even a little bit worse there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of pain in that delta, but I ain't even on front. So this wasn't finna be a 6-hour show, you know. But what I would like to do is I want to allow everybody on the panel to give their opinion on what they think, and I want to truncate it within a certain dynamic. Do you believe that you can guarantee it was initially a racial issue? And I want you to tell me if you think it was positive or negative for the black people of Alabama. And I'm going to start with 100 watts. Because we didn't see him in a minute.
All right. Initially, I don't think it was a racial thing. I think based on the optics of when two white men was beating this one black man ass, it instantly turned into race. At that very moment, it turned into race. Do I think it worked positively or negatively for us? I'd say both. Because negatively, it's just another video of, here go these niggas acting like niggas. Because what we chose to act like niggas about was stupid. Like it just be bigger shit in the world going on than whatever was happening at that fucking pier. Like there's no situation that anybody, I don't care if he called him nigga 7 times to his face. There is no situation in the world to me that you can give me that I saw on that video that would explain why a race war broke out on a fucking pier. It don't make sense. However, on the same hand, I do see it as positive because this is because this is another example of how if we actually do work together, like we can actually get people to pay attention. We could actually get some shit to shake if we choose shit the right way. But being emotional and deciding you're gonna touch somebody, again, I don't care what the protocol was. When you made the choice that you were gonna take it upon yourself to go touch these people both, you knew you were opening the door to some other shit. Then when you add alcohol involved in it, you're opening the door to some other shit. And when you make that choice, you went in there by yourself. You had no backup. You had no plan. You just did some shit, and this is what you got from it. So, if we work together, we can make some magic happen. But niggas choose to operate on nigga shit. That's my take.
Yeah, I got my cousin Big Ev in the background sitting over here on the side. Yo, hold on a second.
I love the show, guys. You guys are awesome.
Yep. He like that. Operate on niggas shit. All right. I see you 100 watts, my G. So we're gonna move over because we're going to the people that don't normally be on the show as much. So we're gonna skip to Mr. O. Talk to him, bro.
All right. So was it racist or not? Initially, we'll never know. We weren't privy. All we saw was body language. We didn't hear the conversation. It's possible. There's reason to believe that it was, but we'll never know. As far as it being positive for our community and Black people, I think the positive part about it is that we having conversations like this and able to talk about it to possibly have change. You know, I'm gonna always stand on men giving women something to follow by giving them a reason, by how we manage disagreements in life, and also the young ones coming behind us. We need to learn how to mentally respond to situations without involving our emotions or provoking emotion towards ourselves. We have to learn how to de-escalate and be problem solvers the right way. There's always a solution to a problem if you have enough game and enough understanding on how to move as a man and what a man should be. Like defining what a man is being lost in this time right now, and I hate that it is, but we got to bring that back, because there's a right way that the right man could have solved that. I know I've had a gun in my face, and I'm still here today because of how I responded to that gun being put in my face. You know, so I ain't gonna respond with no. I know if I would have cussed him out, he would have pulled that trigger. You know, I had to let him believe that killing me in that moment was the worst thing he could do. Killing another Black man in that moment. I ain't nobody. I'm not important enough. I'm not worthy of you losing your life, you know, your liberty in society, or going to jail, or possibly whatever happened. We always plan for what we gonna do, but we never plan on what somebody's gonna do in return when we do what we do. And you gotta always think about that. You always want to go out. When guys go out, they say, look, if I get in a fight tonight, this is what I'm gonna do to that person. But you don't plan on what that person gonna do to you back. Do you tell people, okay, take my watch and give it to my kids if I don't make it home, and call my mama, I got some money put up? But you don't do none of that. You always plan what you gonna do, but you don't plan for what's gonna be done in return. And to stop that, you got to learn how to manage situations better. So having conversations like this within our community can help change that. And I want to give women a better example on what to follow, because following that is just terrible. And we do not need women outside kicking women and kicking men and fighting back and joining us. I don't want women fighting on the side of me. I don't need that. And that is not a good look for us at all. The optics look bad. There's nothing about those optics that's positive.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. O. Your bliss.
Yes,
Say
sir. Say what? You muted yourself before you finished.
Say your piece. No, I said say your piece. It's your turn.
Yeah, it sounds like you say your piece. I'm fucking with you, Chef.
It says my white entitlement is gonna piss me off on you.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I don't know what's too much to say about this one. This one is like kind of I mean, it's to me, it's like watching a World Star video that I guess is viral, and you're like, oh, that shit ain't really all that, you know. And that's pretty much it. It looked like society has its own breakdowns at certain times, and you see it play out on video. I think at times in the beginning, definitely in the beginning it wasn't racial, but I think definitely the white entitlement did kick in, and because a Black man was kind of with authority telling them certain things, and alcohol is involved, possibly it may have tipped over to racial. And what was the second part?
Was it good for Black people?
Was it good for Black people? Only, like I said before, the only good part about this was to show the America that, you know, we're not the only ones starting shit, and we're not the only one on some fuckery, and that's pretty much it.
All right, Blizzy. So, Andrea, speak your piece.
Well, it reminded me of somebody said, shout out to Green Vegan. She said emotionally intelligent. We should.
Oh God! Sorry. All right, this is about to be a 3-hour show. Never mind.
She said we should use our emotional intelligence. So, you know, I say this Did I initially thought it was a racial thing? Yes, I did. Did I think he could have maybe, I don't know what was said, maybe he could have did more to not de-escalate this situation. But would I say, I'm not sure would it happen or not, but I'm glad nobody died. And do I think it did good for our Black people? No, it looked bad. It says what they always think about us. Okay. And so, yes, this might be a gathering cry and we all come together, but we have bigger issues to come together. And sometimes I feel like this dumb distraction shit gets more play than the things that are going on that we need to come together as one. So no, it doesn't good for our community.
We having a different conversation if one of those Black women would have died in that brawl.
Exactly.
We having a different conversation today. I ain't say turn the other cheek, Kim. I'm just saying men can handle this in a different way. And maybe it's our job to show you how.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what context needs to be applied for somebody to say the N-word and that be the reaction. I'm just curious if somebody to give me the context where that shit is justified. Like, oh, he called me a nigga, so this is what happened. We had another reincarnation of the Malice in the Palace. Like,
so Hunter,
I need
right
that
there. I'm gonna say this to you. That one right there, you're welcome to come back for that show, because literally I always had a show in pocket which was called "Who Owns the N-Word?" All right. And so you see where that's coming from. But that conversation you're getting into, that's gonna make this 2-3 hours longer, right? And we're gonna do this because I still got Nighthawk shows with you that I ain't clip up, son. Remember, we was the master of 7-8 hour streams, but who owns the N-word? And if you see it on somebody else's stream, I don't mind being inspiration to others, but you'll know where you heard it first. So here's my piece in all of this before we wrap this party up. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This took place during the year that I really fell in love with Atlanta. I had come to Atlanta maybe 4 or 5 times before as a record executive in the early 90s. But my cousins, they were holding things down. And, they had a lot of money and budget to play with, and they put a music project together. So I came down to Atlanta in 96 I came down in 96 to work on a project. Cool. One day we were driving down Buford Highway and wait, hold on. What?
Peachtree Industrial.
How was it Peachtree? I thought it was.
No, there's 3 lanes. You almost cut from the far lane.
Oh, okay. Peace to Biggs, Evan Gabriel. You see in the chat. So Biggs is his nickname. Yes, we was on Peachtree. This was over by Lenox and Phipps Plaza, if you know Atlanta. It was 3 lanes. And this dude, white boy, he was in, a pickup or something? He was in a pickup truck, and we were in the middle lane. We was where?
We was in the far lane closest to the sidewalk, and he was driving in that 3rd fast lane, I guess, on Peachtree. You know what I mean? And he just swung across.
Literally swung across us. And we bugging like what my cousin had to hit the brakes, right? I'm in the back. Wait, I was in the front seat. I was in the back. You was in the front with Sonny?
What's the name was driving? He was driving.
Oh, shit. He was there. And all we know is the white boy, after he made that move and we struck and we driving, he goes and decides to throw his middle finger out the window and put up his middle finger at us. So we get to the red light and we pissed off. We pissed off. And then somebody did what? Hold on 1 second.
Well, we pulled up to him at the light. He told us, "Yo, leave me the fuck alone." After that, we just jumped out, and he pulled out.
Who jumped out first?
I jumped out. My cousin jumped out behind me. The driver he couldn't do nothing, so he pulled out like, "Yo, leave me the fuck alone."
Pulled out. What you gotta explain what you mean by pull out, cuz.
Son, he pulled a hammer out on us. Like, it didn't matter what was gonna happen at that moment in the broad daylight, middle of the day, Peachtree Industrial in front of Phipps Plaza. I'll never forget that in my life. You know what I mean? Only thing a nigga could do is fall back in the seat. You know what I mean? It's either that or me or my cousin would have been, you know what I'm saying? I can't go back and tell his moms, yo. Nah. So we had to take the L.
And then this is my big cuz. You get what I'm saying? And he was the first one out the door. You know? And literally I watched this young white person pull the pistol out and point it right at my cousin's face. So for me, when we talk about perspectives and everything, our perspectives don't just be perspectives or ideas that we can just fucking talk about and say this or that will happen. That particular perspective could have ended his life, my life, another one of the people that I love's life. And in the end, whether we thought they had white entitlement or whatever, we would have blamed ourselves for the loss of that person. Fucking white entitlement, this, that, and the other. The people that were involved in those particular situations at the end, even if they got to punch somebody in the face, but then they lost somebody that they love, you know what that's called? A Pyrrhic victory. A victory that is won at too great a loss. So all that I ask each and every single one of you that are within earshot of my voice, to manage your perspective, because your perspective controls your emotion, and your emotion controls your reaction. So I want to thank every single one of you for joining this stream, for joining this, what I call exercise in intellectual debauchery. And there's going to be more. If it's bullshit, I won't do it. When I feel it, you'll see it. So I sincerely appreciate each and every single one of you that keep your subscription to this page. And I just want you to know, when I come with something, it's going to be something that I feel. So what I want to do is first thank each and every single one of you that have been a part of this particular stream, as well as the chat. And I want to thank E Black. I want to thank 100 Watts. I want to thank Mr. O is Just Living. I want to thank Just Andrea and everybody that's part of our love periphery. We got more coming for you, and we've got more ideas and more things to make you think. All right.
Great show.
I appreciate you, my G, and you participated, so you're a part of that. You know, your DNA is ingrained upon this thing. So for the people that's on this stream, that's on the panel right now, you know, we let people out on a certain kind of vibe, and we send people out on a magic carpet with a big ass V in the middle of it. Can somebody tell me what that carpet stands for?
Vibing.
You can say it. Vibing. What kind of vibing? All what?
All night long.
All night long. Let's go.
Club phone jump, it's the weekend. Dream come true with the big friends. Hitting on doors, that's the defense. Rolling with all, that's the offense. Hit me, change you, let me peach in. With a bull shaking to my maybe drop pins. So they won't buy, and I say, so they won't buy you to keep playing. Baby, 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 tell me what you want. Julian, line up live from? Ever since remember we been knocking at the door. Y'all be moving paper, we be running up the school. Y'all before that pillar, we was sleeping on the floor. West side Africa, you know the shit ain't far. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Pop it, baby. Come roll with me. As times relax, my mind's relaxed. I got now from who got next. Here's my number, just send a text. You got a man and she responds, nah. Okay, showing up. I'ma let you go, don't wanna hold you up. I'ma call your phone when I put it up. Whoever let you go must be dumb as fuck. Wait for. Girl, you so fine, I pay for. Fly you first class to the lake bar. Body so blessed, I pray for. Body so blessed, I pray for. Because I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. My nigga, I killed it. Night long. This the part where you get your girl, nigga. Make sure she focused, nigga. Make sure you focus, nigga. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, hit it. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. That's a hit for your ass, nigga. Hit for your ass, nigga.
Yo, we never left. We just felt like it was important to give you what you need when you need it. Thank you. Chef Choupino out. Ah, damn, I was